Hey, I thought I'd cover another hidden hero bit of tech that I've been using for, well, ages now. It's a class of device that's become pretty commonplace in camping and off-grid locations, but it has saved the day for me a surprising number of times over the last year or so. So I thought it was only fair that I give it a bit of a spotlight. It's a literal powerhouse. Portable power stations are everywhere now. You've likely seen them in all shapes and sizes, but they've been becoming more and more ubiquitous and feature-rich over the last few years. My particular hero is the P310. AFERY are a really compelling brand in this space. If it was a 3D printer, it'd be the P2S. Surprisingly rich feature set at a price that makes it accessible to many more people. It's got enough muscle to run tools and appliances and even multiple big devices at the same time. At the time of recording, I could get the basic power station on discount for £1,329. For what you're getting versus the competitor, that's pretty impressive. Okay, let's translate the spec sheet, as I can certainly reel off the words. 3,600 watts, 3,840 watt hours and the rest. But for most people, it doesn't really mean much. 3,600 watt output. Well, that's enough to run multiple big appliances at once. Kettle plus toaster plus laptop, well, that's fine. 3,600 watt output is actually key for me, as you'd think that that's an enormous amount. But if you're using a beefy power tool with a shop vac, well, then you can quite quickly see the benefit of this extra power. The 3,840 watt hour capacity, well, a 100 watt device would run for almost 40 hours. A 1,000 watt appliance, nearly 4 hours. That's enough juice to binge watch the entire Naked and Afraid series on a projector with a fridge full of snacks. Multiple outputs, AC sockets, DC carport, USB-C, USB-A, so you can plug basically anything in. Then there's fast charging. As well as how long it takes to empty, another key factor is how quickly it fills up. Plug it into the wall and it charges super fast. Or hook up solar if you're off-grid. Portability, yes, it is hefty, but still portable. You can wheel it around instead of installing a generator. This is obviously a trade-off for all batteries. The bigger they are, the longer they last. So think carefully about how portable you want things versus how much juice you need. Solar panels. These are something worth spotlighting. Solar panels have come such a long way in the last 15 years or so. The amount of energy that you can now generate it's just super impressive. This very easily becomes an easy way to charge up your battery with close to zero effort. And this means that off-grid spots can receive endless power. There's a few other less obvious features that this model deserves a bit of a spotlight for. The fast AC charging is very good. Lots of batteries are limited in how quickly they can charge up from the mains. This will be done in a few hours. And not just that, but the adjustable charge rate is also nice if you want to limit the speed. For example, if you're at a campsite or another location where burning 2,200 watts of energy in one whack might get some frowns. UPS mode kicks in pretty much instantly. It does so in under 20 milliseconds. And this means devices running off this won't even notice, let alone be damaged by the swapping. Putting all this together, the use cases become pretty abundant. Camping and outdoor use. Well, everyone always pictures these things at a campsite, and honestly, it's a perfect fit. LED strips around the tent, fairy lights, lanterns. Your gloomy pitch turned into something cozy. The 3,840 watt-hour capacity means that you could run a small fridge for over 24 hours, or charge phones and laptops for the whole group all weekend without even denting the battery. Next up, van life. If you've ever looked into camper conversions, you'll know the wiring diagrams alone can give you nightmares. The beauty of something like the P310 is that you just skip all that. Run your fridge, fans, lights, water pumps, everything directly from it. My brother spent some time enjoying the van life, and this would have been a game changer for him. This is where unfolding the solar panel kit and plugging it in becomes super cool. On a sunny day, it's just pretty amazing to see the power flowing into the device from the sun. But I think these devices are much more useful at home than you'd realise. Let me show you how I've been using portable power like this over the last year or so. I couldn't count the number of times portable power saved the day on my workshop build. Firstly, just simply lighting. Even quite close to the house, yes, I could run a really long extension cord, but when you add the freezing cold and rain, it quickly becomes a muddle. Reeling back a soppy, wet, muddy cable every day loses its attraction very quickly, as does having to leave the door or the window open in the freezing temperature. I also used it for bursts of heat, both for myself and when I needed to encourage things to dry out quickly. Then to actual tool use. This was obviously handy lots and lots of times for using power tools quickly rather than having to reel back and forth. Of course, it also let me get networking set up quicker than I'd otherwise been able to. I ran Ethernet to the location so my Unify APs would be fine as they're PoE. But to actually connect any devices, you need a switch, and a switch needs power. So many of the videos where I was testing devices, I was actually using this secret source of power rather than the mains. And my final, and probably the most important, was security. I was able to have all of my Reolink cameras working and tracking everything through the night without a worry. And this has actually become part of my final design. I have a power station backup for all the key stuff. So if the mains electricity goes out in the workshop, or the Wi-Fi will continue, switches keep flashing and security carries on as if nothing happened. This will give a couple of days of complete cover, and then when the power comes back on, well, it just starts charging up again. This use as a large-scale UPS is handy when you've got lots of precious devices running off them. There's nothing more annoying than having devices affected by a power outage. This can be both a spoiled long print on a 3D printer, or it can be more fundamental if your PCs or other expensive devices are getting damaged by outages. But there's something cool about power stations in that their actual cost reduces after you buy them if you're smart with how you set them up. I set mine up so that even when it's effectively idle, I use this as an eternal cost saver. You see, the ability to offset energy use allows me to more smartly manage how energy is used in my workshop. In the UK, you can get energy much cheaper at off-peak times. So I have just automated the process so that my power station just charges on solar when sunny, and then overnight it tops up at 7p. So I can be powering machines for super cheap rates, even if it's not at super cheap rate times. So even if I never used this at all with any solar-free energy and did nothing but leave it plugged in, merrily charging during the night and supplying during the day, this device saves me £322 a year. So check out AFERY for a really neat all-round solution. This is actually an ideal time to look at devices like this and robot lawnmowers and all the rest, as people stop thinking about this sort of thing until spring. And it's joined my desert island list. You know, I've always been annoyed by these survival programs. You know, the ones they ask you to pick 3 items to help you on your way. Everyone else grabs the usual fishing rod, a machete, maybe a flint to start fires. Fools. Why don't they think smart about it? I'd just take the P310, the F2 Ultra, and the DeWalt tool range, and I'd be sorted. I can design and print fishing hooks, build shelters, carve tools, maybe even engrave coconuts with intimidating messages for rival tribes. While everyone else is like rubbing sticks together, I've got electricity, tools, and unlimited creativity. If you're going to survive, you might as well do it in style. And if I ever do get stuck on a desert island, at least I'll have the only tribe with a laser-engraved tiki bar. Go on, shout in the comments if you can think of a better 3 items to bring, and I might let you join my tribe. We're vowed.